Hello, everyone. Shannon O'Flaherty here in this beautiful group, Releasing the Wounded Healer. I'm the creator of this group and a shamanic spiritual coach. So tonight's episode is called Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. And not to continue, who's the most beautiful of them all? Well, you should all be saying, I am, I am. I don't mean me, I mean you yourself personally. Everybody should look in the mirror and believe that you are the most important person in the world and that you are the most beautiful person in the world, inside and out, because obviously that's what we want to attract. And I'm not speaking visually necessarily, obviously. I'm speaking energetically and from a compassionate, heart-centered place. So I'm sure you've all heard the expression when somebody's angry or somebody says something awful or makes you mad, and then somebody else will say, oh, he's just mirroring you. And it really is annoying because you think, well, no, he's not. I'm not that big of a jerk. He's not mirroring me. So this is kind of how the mirroring thing works, because just about everything is a mirror in a way, but it's not always mirroring back the exact reflection, because we're always talking about an energetic vibration, an energetic feeling, other words, an energetic kind of intention. So it's actually really a gift if somebody is annoying you. And this is a great reframe too, because then this helps you stay level and on an even keel no matter what is going on emotionally around you, especially when it's something annoying or irritating. Because when somebody's annoying you or irritating you, or you're triggered, in other words, that's a real gift, because right there, that's like, well, if this is annoying me, then I really need to research this. I really need to look into this. Once again, I always seem to forget to turn my phone on airplane mode. Okay. I'm getting these Facebook Lives. I really need to look into this thing that is annoying and triggering me, because why, whatever that person is saying, whether it's just something mean or whether it's criticism or whether that person is taking something that you said personally when you're not meaning anything personally, or whether that person has just completely dismissed you, hasn't heard you, isn't listening. I'm trying to think of triggers just off the top. Whether that person has totally twisted what you've said completely around. These are all things that would be pretty annoying. And you think, well, gosh, I don't do this. So how on earth can this be a mirror? And why on earth is this annoying me? And so it's a really great way to look at your shadow parts, because mirrors aren't necessarily the energetic mirror I'm talking about, reflecting back the exact thing. So what you would do is you'd say, what kind of a person, whatever kind of person that is, that's saying the horrible thing, what kind of a person who's mean and says this mean thing, says this kind of a thing. And then you'd write down a whole bunch of qualities about that kind of a person. So somebody who's mean might also be sad. They might also be insecure. They might be wounded. They might be irritated. They might be trying to be bigger or more important. So you'd write down a whole list of qualities that this type of person would be. And then you go down that list and look at those qualities and find the one that bugs you the most. And I bet you that's probably your quality. And if you can find that quality within yourself, or something on that list is going to be something about you that you are, that you feel, that you don't want to own in yourself. No, none of that is mine. I'm not any of these things. And obviously, owning our shadow parts, it's really hard. It's not a fun thing to do because we don't want to look at the dark, kind of ugly side of ourselves. But, like that book I told you about yesterday, this is where the devil lives, inside of our heads, filling us with self-doubt and with that dark piece that's really, really stealthy. This is how we get entrenched with stealthy self-sabotage, and we start cutting off our opportunities when we don't even realize what we're doing, because we're just simply not owning our stuff. And then we're projecting it onto other people. And guess what? Then we're their mirrors too, because when angry people or upset people are projecting their stuff onto us, as empaths, we'll take that probably. And then guess what? We hold on to that, and that annoys us. And then that vibration, we're responding with an angry, annoyed vibration. And so that cycle continues. So if you're aware of this, you can notice the feeling like, whoa, I'm being triggered. And okay, like today, it was a really silly thing, but nevertheless, I got triggered. I told you yesterday, not much ruffles my feathers, but today I was annoyed. So I went to get my hair done. Can't you tell? You're all like, no. Yeah. So I went to get my hair done, and, to get the roots done. And for some reason, he chose a lighter color than matching the roots up exactly. Now, I know this is a great big experiment to have the perfect purple hair, and it's pretty tricky unless you bleach it, and I'm not prepared to do that. But why didn't he tell me he was choosing a lighter color? And in fact, why did he choose a lighter color? And so then obviously I had a lighter center section, and then the rest of this hair and the bright purple on top of it. And I was really annoyed, and I felt triggered because I was annoyed that he would do that without discussing that with me. And then I was annoyed because I was then the difficult client, because he was annoyed and he was like, well, no, it looks good. And I said, well, no, it doesn't. And that doesn't make me happy. And I held my own, and I stayed. And then I stayed longer, another hour or so that they could put darker stuff to kind of match it up. And it still doesn't really match. And okay, probably nobody's going to notice that except me. But I was annoyed. And then I was annoyed because he was annoyed, and because I don't want to be a difficult person, and I don't want to be the difficult client. I want to have fun with it. And I was sitting there feeling like, wow, okay, gosh, how do I get out of this? So I thought that I would just joke with him when he came over, and I was like, come on, I know that you're really enjoying this, aren't you? This is really actually fun, isn't it? And he's like, yeah, well, I'm still smiling. But he was annoyed, and I could feel that he was annoyed, because I was too. And so I had to let it go, because what's done is done. It's better than it was. But nevertheless, this is what I mean. We were being a mirror for each other, because I was annoyed, so he was annoyed, and then I was annoyed, and it just goes back and forth, back and forth. So I didn't really know how to just let it go. I mean, it's just hair. It's not the biggest deal in the world. And I thought, well, gosh, okay. So I thought I'll just go into a shop and distract myself and just look, no intention to buy anything, but I just went into a store and took my time and looked at everything, looked at stuff I wouldn't normally see, went into stores I've never been in before, and just looked to see what was out there, because it was more fun than being annoyed. So if you don't know how to let go of something, and it's not worth holding on to energy, that's not serving you. Distract yourself. It's just what we do with little babies. When we want them to stop being annoyed, we show them a different toy. We distract them. So we have to treat ourselves the same way. Just distract yourself. And then I ate a cupcake on Fit Friday. I know. But then I had a massage, and that was really good too. So do what you need to do to not project your energy onto other people, whether it's over something really small like hair. And some people might think that's not a small thing. You know, we tend to spend a fortune on our hair, but whether it's over a big thing too in your relationship or at work or whatever drama, you know, see it as a gift when you're annoyed to figure out what has triggered you. Now, this was an actual thing that triggered me, but more than the thing, it was because somebody had made this huge decision about my hair without discussing it with me first. So that was the trigger for me. And so if I wanted to do the work that I just told you, I would say, well, what kind of a person does that? Oh, somebody who wants to do things his own way, somebody who's right all the time, somebody who wants to help somebody and try to make it better. That was his reasoning that he gave me. Somebody who was using the opportunity to experiment and learn a little bit more. Somebody who had limited amount of time and just wanted to do the fastest thing and hope that it would work. You know, so make a whole list on there. And what would it be? Well, I don't really know. I think experimenting, because sometimes in healing, I usually tell my clients, though, if I'm experimenting, like if I'm trying something new, because I've learned an awful lot of stuff with my clients, especially energy work in the early days. You know, I'd say, I'm just getting a feeling about this, and I think I can do this, but it's brand new. Do you trust me? And they'd say, yeah. So I guess that's where it was, but he didn't tell me. The last time I went, he experimented and told me he was experimenting, and that was fine. So it's just a little thing, but it's a good example of how we project and how we get triggered and then keep triggering each other back and forth. So stand in front of your actual mirror and look deeply into the mirror. Look deeply into your own eyes and start from your head to your toe and tell yourself all of the wonderful things you love about yourself and how amazing you are and how awesome you are, and about all of the fantastic fundamental qualities that are yours and yours alone, and that you don't need to project anything onto anyone else. And if somebody triggers you, then you say, great, thank you. That's something else I can look at in myself so that I can clear it and be the best person I can possibly be. So I hope that gives you some kind of insight into how to stay on an even keel with your emotions over little things or bigger things. And if you want help with this and guidance, I can help you get clear. This is the work that I do. I help people release their limiting belief systems. I clear up their energy. I get them balanced and energized. And I show you how to practice these things for life. And I give you tools for life so that you can do this for yourself and others, and you can integrate it into your own healing work. I do this stuff every single day. I mean, maybe not for hours and hours like I used to when life was all upside down, but you know, I can let things go pretty quickly. So private message me. Let's have a call and see if we're a good match to work together. I love you all, and have a wonderful night and a great weekend. See you.